Starting up. Hey, everyone. Hello, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the show. It's a little bit technically crazy because, we're transversing the continent today, and that's always a fun thing to do this early in the morning. We're out early in the morning out in Vancouver, afternoon here in lovely Philadelphia. We're joined by Anthony and Joan today, which is amazing. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, Nick.
Really appreciate it, as always. And we have Russ is going to be joining us too. He's here somewhere as well. He was just with us and now he's gone, but he'll be back. So he's the man of the hour, of course. Being this is the draft. Then we have Mike Augello also in Vancouver, in the same house as Anthony, reportedly.
Yeah, different floors.
Allegedly, different floors. So anyway, there, and then we have Russ going there, and Russ, can you hear us, Russ, at all?
I can.
Yep. Good. Wow, this is actually good. All right, let's do this show as fast as we can because before this all falls apart. All right. Here we go. Hello, Hockey World. It is Friday, June 21st, 2019.
I'm Anthony Mingione from Corner Wrestling Magazine.
I'm Michael Augello, and I hate United Airlines. Russ.
And that'll be Russ.
I didn't hear Anthony. I'm Russ Cohen from Sportsology.
That's right. Anthony and Mike went at the same time. And I'm Michael, and you're watching the HockeyBuzzcast on HockeyBuzz.com special draft day preview show. Live right now.
Yeah.
You are in the right place. We're going head to head with what Sports Center's Hockey Central at noon. I like it. I like that we're going to take them out. This whole idea. We're going the same time as them. I'm sure more people are watching us than them. I'm positive of it. All right.
Yeah. I'll hold my breath for that.
So Russ, how are you doing, my friend? I heard you this morning, really early in the morning on XM. I'm like, man, that's gotta be like 5 in the morning out there.
5:45. Yeah, it was an interesting little spot, but no, I'm doing good.
You did a great job. I mean, that's
Thank
hard.
You.
That is hard to do. I'm sure you guys were out a little bit last night.
A little.
Yes, and that's amazing. So anyway, let me turn that off so we don't get any other crazy things here. I want to. So I've got a couple little things that are going on trade wise, but let's talk about the draft first, Russ, because we are draft day.
Yeah.
And while we have you, I know everyone's asking this question. You got to ask it, of course. But do you feel as if there's any possibility or any surprises coming in these first 2 picks at all? Everyone's like playing it so coy. Brodeur was just on the air.
Nope. I don't. Even though Shiro went to Helsinki and spoke to Kako, I don't. Yeah. I just think he did that to do that due diligence and all that. Change my mind, kid. That kind of thing. I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah, I know. That sounds right to me too. Like it is. I mean, it is. Like you said on the air, Helsinki's beautiful this time of year, right? So hey,
yes.
Why not? I mean, but I love the dynamic that this is setting up between these two hated teams that hate each other.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic dynamic. Like it's so perfect for the Devils to have the first pick because the Devils can screw it up, and the Rangers can. Whatever happens, the Rangers can say, "Well, we had no choice in the matter." It's just like the fantastic, like if this was a reality television show, and like I said, I've been watching a lot of Bachelor in Paradise. My wife, this is a reality television show between
God.
They'd be like taking each other to the tent and discussing what they're going to do, making out a little while, and then going back. But so that's Ray Shiro and Scott Gordon. Don't think about that together, or that visual in your head. But anyway,
Ray Shiro, I got to tell you, Ray Shiro's mad because the other day when he got interviewed, everybody's saying, "Well, the Rangers are in the best spot." And Ray Shiro's like, "No, I'm in the best spot. I have the first pick." He doesn't like the other scenario where, well, the Rangers will take who you don't.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, this is fantastic. Like, those people don't understand the dynamic of these teams and this division and stuff like that.
It's a common recurrence, I think, because, again, we had the Devils a few years ago with Philadelphia, saying, oh, the Flyers are in a good spot. They just take whoever the better of the two is. And now we can say there's a legitimate debate between number 1 through 3 in that draft, especially with Heiskanen's development in Dallas. So
for sure.
It's not a slam dunk per se in this case.
No, it's not at all. And I love it. And the Devils, who are like, who always feel like they are like the bastard child of living of the metropolitan area. But they're the team that have won all the cups. They're the team that have had all the success, and they're in this spot, where they just, they did the thing with the first the Flyers, now the Rangers. It's like any other team in the NHL could be picking second. It doesn't have to be the Rangers and the Flyers. The Devils have really gotten screwed twice in this dynamic. Next time it'll be the Islanders, right? So Yeah, this is just great, and I feel as if like the Hughes thing and the Kako thing, especially because Kako could come into the NHL, right, and maybe be more successful early on, Russ.
Yeah, that could happen.
Which is going to play into it that as well. And I think the Devils are still trying to make some trades too. And I brought it up last night to you guys too. Let's talk about Gardner for a second, because Gardner's one of the guys that have definitely been tracking a lot. And I heard two things mainly with Gardner. I've heard that that the Canucks. I've heard the Canucks and the Devils, basically. The Canucks would like to make some kind of announcement tonight during the draft. That's a fun thing to do, to make that you've traded. I mean, that when you have a draft at home like that, it's going to be a fun thing for them to do. They would love to do something large, like we got Panarin's rights, or we got this or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that play into it, Russ? You think that plays into it?
It could. I mean, it happened in Carolina. I think that's when they drafted Andrew Ladd. They moved up, and it created a big stir. It doesn't happen every draft, though. But I think, I think there's a chance.
It's kind of like trading for rights is sort of like whatever,
Yeah, but right. I was gonna say how much of a is a big splash when you can't have talked to Gardner's agent about signing an extension. So all you're doing is trading for the negotiating rights. Unless you've said, okay, we'll offer you $7.5 million for 7 years, and he agrees on the spot. I don't think trading for Jake Gardner's negotiating rights constitutes a big splash. If they trade for PK Subban, that's a big splash.
Yeah, but that is a big splash. But I think again that you can say we traded for Panarin's rights with a conditional third next year. That is literally no risk at all, and yet you can make your crowd go crazy. Think about it. It's like, there's zero risk to that. Like those conditional picks when they're traded for rights, it's only true. Be careful. There might be a train running through your house right now, right?
Yeah. Yep. I hear it.
So I would like to do that. I just wanted to go out there and say we traded for Panarin's rights, conditional third round draft pick next year if we sign him. Otherwise, nothing at all. And then
I don't rule out the possibility of the Leafs trading Gardner's rights, because it's clear to me, even if they trade Zaitsev, they have almost no chance of re-signing Gardner unless Gardner takes a ridiculous hometown discount, which I don't think he's going to do, because Gardner and Myers are going to make more than they're actually worth because the market is shrinking.
Right. The other guy I want to talk about with Anthony is that I've gotten. How many texts have you gotten, Anthony, and how many texts have you gotten, Russ, today? Are they trading Gostisbehere? Like every friend of mine that I know, every person. It's crazy. So Anthony, give me your zero. They don't trade him 100%. He's out the door. Are they trading Gostisbehere today? Let's go with today.
Today.
I'm
going to peg it potentially at a 5, maybe a 5 right now. Today.
50%.
I'd say 50%. It depends again on the possible offer. I think may climb after the draft, because how many times we've heard of discussions happening on the floor,
maybe 50% today,
potentially being involved. We've heard enough rumor about it.
Yeah, now between now and July 1st, 50% today. Between now and July 1st, what do you think?
It might increase. I would say probably peg it at, once the picks are kind of out the door, it may stay at that, or maybe unless, again, you need something tangible in terms of what the return's going to be. I would think in this case, Philadelphia is going to want to forward in return. And again, they're not. I'm not of the impression again that they're shopping Gostisbehere. They want the offers to come to them because they know the offers can come to them.
Yeah, they know.
Player under his contract is perfect.
Yeah.
For a lot of teams who are looking for that kind of that defenseman of his ilk. So they know that they can let the market come to them, or let it develop, potentially over the summer as well. So it could happen in any one of those windows. It's just within the tight box of the draft when picks could be involved. There could be a little bit more, especially if they could still stay in the first round. If it's a trade back scenario where they get a really good piece and they move back, however many slots. Yeah, I think it's something that's doable.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think now, are there any other defensemen that they could be moving out?
I think it could be, other than that, there's the potential for, again, you've got a logjam of eight defensemen now, 2 guys currently, as the roster stands right now, and Robert Haig and Sam Morin, who are kind of on the outside looking in. Haig is a possibility because I think he has some modicum of value, but I also think Philadelphia looks at him as having value too, especially as a third pair.
Maybe their only defensive
physical defenseman to have that balance.
Right.
And Sam, again, Sam Morin, I'm not sure what the return value. I mean, if you have to get, I think, the right partner in this case who can project him in a certain role, his size is enticing, but his injury history is what is his knock right now. And that may be a case where Philly looks at him as it's tough. I think Ghost, of all the defensemen who's going to give you value in return, it would be Gostisbehere. Haig may be a case of a pick. But again, you're putting up the issue I have here with Ghost is the fact that if you line up the Flyers defense right now, it's Provorov, Niskanen probably. You've got Sanheim and Braun because that's how you lined it up. And then you've got Ghost technically on third pair here with Myers. And Myers has more of an offensive bend to his game. Yeah. Where I think a Haig probably balance or a Morin balance better to allow you to use Myers with his gifts to be able to move the puck up even more so. So, and a $4.5 million a year is a lot for a guy who's going to be potentially in your third pair and Gostisbehere. So I think there is, again, I'll peg it at 50% right now. Call it hedging, being on the fence.
I'll say
but I think it's out there.
Very much on the fence, Anthony, and not taking a stand whatsoever. I will say that you did a good job with that. No stand at all. Russ, what are your thoughts on Gostisbehere? What percentage would you give this?
For those parameters, I think 75%. There's just too much out there that leads me to believe he's going to go somewhere. So I think it's about 75%. And then to just piggyback off of what Anthony was saying, Haig, Morin could get thrown into a deal because Sam Morin's not going to have a lot of opportunity this year. He's just not. And so maybe they'll do the right thing and send him somewhere.
So I've gotten this text from a couple people. WTF are the Flyers doing? So I'm going to ask. Mike, go ahead. Mike.
No, I mean one of the theories I had, and I told Anthony about this last night, is like the sort of systematic occupation of the Flyers salary cap with the additions of Hayes, with trading for Justin Braun. It's almost like this is a concerted move to use up enough of the cap to go to the agents for Provorov, Sanheim, and Konecny and say, we don't have enough money to sign you to long-term deals, so you're going to have to take Bridges. It's like if they had $30 million in cap room, they could say, okay, well, you have the room, we can sign you to long-term deals. If they keep using up cap space, now Gostisbehere, if they trade him out and they get lower ELC type players, then that's one thing. If they trade him for a guy like Ehlers, who we've heard the rumor of, and it's been Pierre LeBrun reported yesterday, if that happens, they're adding more caps, they're adding more to their cap, and they're not going to have enough room to sign Provorov, Sanheim, and Konecny to long-term deals. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose so they can't sign them to long-term deals.
I have another theory, and this is my theory, and then we'll move off with the Flyers. I think what the Flyers see is they look around the division, and there's teams in two different tiers. You've got the Penguins and Capitals, both dynamic teams, but both arguably on the downside a little bit. Like you could say, like both of those teams it's going to be hard for them to be better than they were, right? Penguins.
They have windows.
Windows closing a little bit, right? And then below them, or not below them, but the other group are the Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders, Carolina, and Columbus. 5 teams who are all getting better, drastically better, and are all improving, and are all young, and are all looking towards And then in the middle sit the Flyers, half young, half old.
I'll dispute that. I think the Islanders are getting better, and I don't think the Islanders are getting younger.
Let's just put them aside for a second. But because my theory is the way Comcast looks at it, and I do think this is I think all these moves are a Comcast call. I really do. The way Comcast looks at it is we actually have a window here before those other teams get really good, and while the other teams are falling back a little bit, that this is that we have to go for it, and they're going for it. Whether or not it's worth, I'm not saying that's the big thing, but I get the sense that they see themselves in a very unique position in this division, and if they don't do something right now, they're going to get caught quickly by these other teams. So I think they're looking at just like a 1 year or 2 year window, and it's kind of a crazy move because we're so.
And you added to the mix too. You have your top players are also in the prime window of their career right now. You have Claude Giroux, you have Jake Voracek.
Yep.
Obviously, Sean Couturier is about to enter. He'll be entering his window soon.
Yeah.
I think there's a definite calculation involved, where I think they know that if they're going to have a chance of winning with the guys who are part of what they consider to be their core, they have to augment that core because there's again the Flyers. If you look at them structurally, have a lot of young guys and a lot of older guys and guys. There's an age gap there. So some of the acquisitions, again, they're 32 years old. Some of those guys, especially on defense. But they've been through the wars.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I don't, as much as people sort of want to look down on the trades, I do get the mindset of having the guys who have been there, who are ready, who can take the next step, and also having that forward in Hayes that is that perfect age at 27. That's the other thing that goes into it.
Right.
There's that bridge between the younger roster and the older players in the roster.
Right. I mean, I've had people say, hey, good signing. I had someone today compare it to the Rangers signing of Wade Redden. So I think that that's not a great comparison, but I mean
it's not a good comparison.
You got to see where this goes, right?
No, I mean let's just say this: I don't think that Kevin Hayes' contract is Wade Redden bad, but it's bad because, and I think Kevin Hayes is an adequate number 2 center. But to pay over $7 million, I'm sure there were opposing general managers who would like to rip Chuck Fletcher's head off after hearing that deal.
I think so, but I also think more of them are kind of questioning. Well, they really there's enough of a sense that doesn't make sense that it's like a specific thing to what the head coach in Philly wanted. That it's not really being used.
And the phrase I've commonly used, and Mike has heard this, and Russ has heard this, is and I said it online, but I'll say it here. It's kind of Alain Vigneault's wedding gift.
It is.
It's a very expensive wedding gift.
That's the way of putting it. They went to Vigneault and they're like, "What do you want? Here's pick anything."
Here's my guy.
If he had said he wanted to sign, Jake Gardner, they would have been the guy. They found the guy they wanted and they got him. And
I'll tell you right now who is sending a bottle of champagne to Kevin Hayes and his agent. And that's the agent of Anders Lee, because Anders Lee, if Kevin Hayes is making 7.1, Anders Lee is an $8 million center or an $8 million forward.
Anders Lee for a second because it's a great transition, Mike. Thank you. Anders Lee, talking to people over the last couple of days, I've gotten the sense that Anders Lee now is higher on the radar for the Nashville Predators than Matt Duchene is for the Nashville Predators. And I mean, for what it's worth, it seems as if the Preds are looking away from Duchene and looking towards other options. That could change. Of course, everything can change. But as of now, the sense I'm getting is that the Canadians are sort of going for Duchene, or that's their plans, because I mean they originally were going for Everly, I think, and now they're going for Duchene. But Anders Lee could end up as a Predator, or could end up, still on the island. But I wanted with the Islanders. Let's go to Lou. There today, I'm listening to Dan Rosen on XM, who has a good connection with a lot of these New York teams, as you know. Mm-hmm. And if there aren't that many Lou Lamoriello whisperers out there, like I claim to be, so Dan Rosen will be one of them. And Dan Rosen said this morning that something's up with Lou, that he's going to do something big, and the feeling around people around the island is something big is up. And then I expect him to say, he's going after Panarin. Instead, he turns around, Dan Rosen says, something along the lines of an offer sheet to Mitch Marner. And I just like,
horse crap.
Right, listen,
God.
Let's all understand that everyone's going to have that reaction to the word offer sheets. Okay, that's a given. Okay. Offer sheets in and of themselves aren't happen, but they are a tool for a conversation. And that's what's happening this year. So they're not. So him talking offer sheet, okay, is more if that feeling's out there, it's more about a chance for Lou to have a discussion with Dubas about maybe something else. But I think I think the Islanders and the Leafs are in heavy discussions over something. I don't know what that would be.
Well, it could be. I mean, I don't know if they have an interest in Zaitsev. But there are other players like Kapanen and Brown who are on the block. The Leafs have a lot of irons in the fire, and Dubas, he's fielding and putting out a lot of offers. I just have to say this because it's been floated and you wrote about it, Eck, in terms of like how the media in Toronto is being used by both sides here.
Crazy.
Dubas came out yesterday and essentially said, and I'm paraphrasing here, you make an offer sheet, we may not match it, which means for those teams that are going out there to offer an offer sheet to screw the Leafs in terms of putting them up against the wall for the cap. Remember Kevin Allen said a few weeks ago, Eck, an offer sheet that puts somebody up against the wall is also an offer sheet that puts the team that offers it up against the wall. And if say somebody like the Rangers, and I don't think the Rangers do, but say somebody like the Rangers or the Islanders try to do that, watch out, you will reap what you sow. And that's I think Dubas made the right move. He's like, there's nothing to stop Darren Ferris going there and searching for offer sheets.
Right? Can I say it's about friggin' time Dubas came out and said that? Because all he was saying before that was this big, like, machismo, like, egotistical, I'm going to match any offer that's thrown out there all the time, which is the stupidest.
No, because Eck, he believes in these players. He wants these players as part of the future. He even said after he said that yesterday, he says we don't want like the fans to start bashing on Marner because like they did with William Nylander because Mitch Marner is a consummate pro and he's a good kid and he's a does positive things in the community, all that stuff. But when you're going to war with an organization and you're like, I want the same as Austin Matthews. Mitch Marner is one of the most exciting players in the league. He's not Austin Matthews. He's not a center. He doesn't deserve $11.6 million. Get it through your thick skull.
These are negotiations. Everyone's so ridiculously dumb in this situation. These are negotiations. Of course, you're going to say you want as much as Austin Matthews.
Sure.
You're going to.
There's always a happy medium. There's always a happy medium.
Yeah, you're going to shoot for beyond where you want to be. If you shoot for below where you want to be, then you're going to end up below where you have to shoot beyond that. He's got to say. Matthews, he knows he's not where he would be. I think Mitch Marner himself would be embarrassed to take Austin Matthews' money.
Hold on. I think there's something at play here. So I spoke to a lot of Metro reporters yesterday, and what it sounds like to me is that this rumor has come out to take away the focus of Lee testing free agency, which I was told he's pretty much going to do, and Leonard not being signed.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Exactly.
Interesting. That's very possible. And Robin Leonard right now, there's a lot of pressure because obviously the awards ceremony, was a wonderful thing. It was a fantastic, amazing moment, but it also does, throw pressure back on Lou more. Like we got to get Leonard signed because he's suddenly like, everybody loves him.
Yeah, and by the way, the tactic here is, and it's been leaked out, is that the Leafs have said to Marner and his representatives, we'll pay you $11 million. We want you in for an 8-year max.
Right.
Basically, they want their cake and eat it too. They want the 5-year deal with that Matthews got for the money that was consistent with an 8-year deal, and they're not getting that. You'll get the money, but we want term. And if you don't give us term in terms of 8 years, if you want 5 years, then you're going to probably get 9.5, 9.75. There's no team out there that's going to offer him $11, $12 million on a 4 or 5 year deal. No one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I honestly think that this Marner situation has not been handled well by Dubas at all. That's my opinion. But I think time will tell, of course. But that's just my feeling on this is that they really yesterday was the first time he handled it well. Like yesterday was the first time I felt like. Now also I want to throw out there too. I talked to a team just a couple hours ago that was talking this morning about Marleau. So the fact he's sitting there, Marleau's not going anywhere. That's not a given at all. Like that.
No. I basically. Yesterday was bluff day by Kyle Dubas. Like him coming out and saying, well, we may keep Marleau. I think what he's trying to do, and everybody knows that for a team like Arizona, which has been the team most connected with Marleau, that team is going to, whoever that team is going to buy him out so Marleau can go back to San Jose on a minimum contract. That's apparently where he wants to go. But San Jose can't take him on for the $6.25 million that he has. So it's basically trading him someplace that will buy him out to allow him to go where he wants to go. Arizona's not going to do that unless they get something of significance, and they're probably asking for somebody like Kasperi Kapanen, and there's no way in hell that Dubas is doing that.
I threw into our chat room for people to get questions together for Russ for the draft, so we can have that as we go along here. but so that we'll end on that in like in the last 10 minutes of the show or something like that. But I want to also go to Carolina for a second, okay? And yesterday the news coming out that that they're going to let McElhinney and Mrazek walk, which sounds crazy to a lot of people, but then when you really think about it, is it? I mean, I know they played. They definitely got great years out of both of them, but they're unrestricted free agents, as is Varlamov, as is Leonard, as as is Elliott, as is Talbot.
Talbot, yeah.
There's a lot of free agents out there that might be better than Mrazek and McElhinney. So I think that, I mean, if you're from Carolina, they had great years, but both of them have also had horrible years. So I'm not surprised. I think this is what they should do. I think and is Mrazek going to get that kind of money anywhere? I mean,
maybe they're going to give Scott another chance.
I mean, here's what I was told was like last year, like when Mrazek signed this deal in Carolina, his agent was going back and forth with Carolina, and it wasn't getting anywhere. Mrazek himself called up Carolina, like the player, which is rare. The player was up and said, "Listen, I want to prove myself again. Let's do that." And then they did it, and he did prove himself. But he also, he's just a year away from the Flyers taking away his stall in the middle of the playoffs. I mean, we're talking about Mrazek, who's like kind of all over the map, right? So to me, I'm really curious about how this plays out with Carolina. I think that if I'm Carolina, I would also. I mean, you can't be offering them big money.
No, and that's probably what they're holding out for. I mean, McElhinney made $850,000. I will bet you on a 1-year deal he's asking for probably over $1.5 million. And for Thomas Dundon, we know that spending $1 more than he actually wants to is a problem for him. So I think that this missive that came out that they're not going to sign both of them after they said we're going to bring both of them back is just more spin to sort of get that money down. They could go out and they could sign a stopgap guy like Talbot for a year or two. But the problem is that you don't know whether. I mean, Talbot did not play well in Edmonton, didn't get a chance to play in Philadelphia. And now, you're putting him in a situation where your fallback is Alex Nedeljkovic, who did win a Calder Cup. So maybe they're willing to give him a chance as a 1B. But I don't know. You're resting all your laurels on Alex Nedeljkovic. I don't think that's the way they're going to go.
I think it's okay to use Nedeljkovic as one of the goalies, I think, in a pattern. But I think they do need to go out and make a decision either of those two guys or bring in somebody else.
And I've heard the Flyers interest in McElhinney possibly too, so that's possible. But it wouldn't be a bid. Again, these guys
and Toronto
too. Yeah. All right, we have some questions for Russ here. All right, so let's go. All right, goalie SP, Russ. How high does Cole Caulfield go?
As high as 5 and as low as 9.
So it's 9. All right, interesting. Will the Red Wings draft Cousins?
No.
No. Okay. Who grabs the goalie in round 1?
The Islanders.
The Islanders, nice. Who will the Flyers draft at 11?
I don't know. Are they going to draft at 11? But if they do draft at 11, it's a good question. If Podkolzin were to fall, they would draft him. Maybe Cousins.
Matthew Boldy, I think, is another one. If Boldy's there.
If he were to drop, they're going to see who drops.
Boldy, I think if Boldy's there, I think there's a good chance if he's there.
I'll be surprised, like you said, Russ, if they traded this pick. Just based on what we're seeing right now about them going for it, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Possibly. The person also asked, will it take 6 years for that player the Flyers draft to develop?
3 to 5, but it could be less depending on the player. If it's Podkolzin, it would be 3, probably 3.
Right, when he gets back. Okay. What do you think about Alex Vlasic?
I like Vlasic. He's got a good wingspan. He played top pairing for the NTDP. He's got good speed. He's smart. He's physical. So I think I think he's a pretty good player. I like him.
Does Caulfield look like he's 14 years old?
Sure, but he scores like he's 30.
How far does Podkolzin fall?
To me, he could fall as far as 11.
Yeah.
The story on him is he's in Russia, right? So he's the one who signed a KHL deal, so he's got 2 more years in the KHL.
Right. The interesting thing is, I asked about that yesterday, and he basically said through his interpreter he signed a standard, 3-year KHL deal, and I thought that was a little telling because on one hand he said I really want to play in the NHL, and then the other hand he just went and quickly signed a standard KHL deal, right? So he knew a while ago that he wasn't going to come to the NHL for a while.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I mean, why not make some money and develop in your homeland?
Right.
That's a bad idea.
No.
If I was him, I would think that's pretty smart. As Mike has moved to outside, Mike, you're like impressive. I'm like,
multi-site Augello.
Mike on the run.
I'm your roving reporter.
Are you on the lam or something? Are you being followed? Are you worried?
I'm being stalked by hot Vancouver women.
There you go. Puck crazed models out there. Who would this year's Joe
give him my address
be? Which is a guy who drops to the low first round pick.
That's a good question. I think it'll be Kaliev. I think Kaliev could fall anywhere from 26 to like the first 3 or 4 picks of the second round.
All right, here's my question for you. It's always like this because it's not hockey related, but who is the most interesting draft eligible player that you've talked to as a person? Just like somebody you're like, wow, that guy is really interesting.
Trevor Janicki. He is a guy that'll probably go in like the 3rd round.
Okay.
He played with the NTDP, and then after that, he went and joined the USHL team that's now defunct, Flying Aces. And so we laughed about that.
It's a great name.
I felt like
great
he left the NTDP so he could get playing time, right? Because that team, it's hard to get playing time. He's physical, he's strong, and John Beecher, same thing. John Beecher is just like a physical specimen, and he's a center, and he's probably the most physically developed player in the draft. So that's another guy. Besides being an interesting guy to talk to, those two.
Cool. I always like to, I always remember some guys are fascinating. You never. Just like I get one of the Flyers players who told me, like, I asked him what his favorite song was, and he said it was Journey's "Don't Stop Believing." Coming from like a 17-year-old kid.
Jesus.
There you go. All right, so that's all the questions we have in the chat room for now. Actually, could Zegras fall to the Flyers at number 11?
Yeah, actually, there's a slight chance, but Mike says no. But you know what? If there's a run on defenseman or something, we never know. It's not expected. But anything can happen like that.
I mean, Russ knows more about the draft than I do, but a lot of the projections recently have said that Zegras could be picked as high as number 3 by Chicago. Now, that he could slip. That could all just be smoke and mirrors because of the draft. But I think that could be possible too.
I will tell you this. Hold on. Yesterday, Zegras said Chicago should take Turcotte 3rd. Zegras said that.
Zegras said that. I love it. That's awesome.
That's a good team.
He's making his own spin. He's making his own spin, Russ.
How many players in the NHL draft taken wherever in the first round wherever will play in the NHL this year coming up?
3.
3. So you think the top 2 and then
Moritz Seider.
Okay, good. Where do you see Ryan Suzuki going, and is he better than Nick?
I can't tell you if he's better than Nick because I think Nick might be a higher skill guy. I think he's going in the 20s.
Cool. People are loving this. They're saying great insight from us, and we are lucky to have a guy like I've always said.
Thank you.
We have the best draft guy in the world on our podcast every day. So
let me just for the Leaf Nation out there, I talked to a couple Vancouver-based reporters regarding the Canucks. Now they're interested in Gardner in the UFA market. They did sign Edler to a 2-year extension. There's been talk of them being interested in Zaitsev. And if you think about it, trading for Zaitsev and signing Gardner, you basically put together your own a defensive pair that has played together for the last 2 or 3 years. So that would make sense if Vancouver.
You're okay.
What's that?
As long as you don't play the Bruins in the first round, you're okay.
Well, exactly. So I think you're pretty safe there unless the Bruins move.
Right. You're pretty safe that way. Any thoughts on Matt Sogard from Denmark?
What about? I think it broke up.
Thoughts on?
Oh yeah,
Sakari?
Matt Sogard is to me the second best goalie in this draft. He's got like rock star hair. He's got the long stringy hair. He's very tall and very thin, so he's going to have to put on some muscle. But he's a very
Sounds like
calm.
me.
Yeah, he's a very calm guy on and off the ice, and that's a big thing when you're a goalie, right? It's like he's a calming influence. He's very good positionally, good glove. I think he could still possibly go near the end of the first round if a team says, you know what, we don't have a second round pick and we need a goalie. Like if the Bruins decided, you know what, we've got to get a goalie in our system, maybe they do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Thin, muscular, good hair. Sounds like a carbon copy of Mike Agello.
You guys Vancouver women together later after the show, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Why are this is not this for anybody, but why are the Rangers trying to trade Jimmy Vesey?
Because Jimmy Vesey's probably run his course. Quinn likes him, so Quinn would probably fight it a little bit, but he's never going to be more than a 15, 17 goal guy. And right now they're trying to be like a higher skill team. You still need some gritty guys. So it's not like they're going to move Vesey instantly, but I don't think they want to pay him on his next contract. And let's just say they do extend Kreider. You know, they're looking at some of the other young guys they have to extend in the future. They're probably just preempting what they're seeing down the road, like with what Chicago did with Kevin Hayes back in the day.
Yeah, there you go. Who does Washington draft?
And the most hilarious thing about this, Zach, is that the team that he's tied strongly to is Buffalo, who traded for his rights and he rejected 3 years ago. So, you know, and it makes sense because DC and Eichel are friendly.
Yeah.
And probably he would fit in with Eichel on his line, unless they want to move Skinner, play Skinner on the second line to sort of spread out their offense a little bit. But it's just, this guy 3 years ago chose another team over you, and now you're trading for him.
Right. Final thing I want to do in the show today. Somebody asked last draft question. Who do you see going at 25 to the Capitals? Any idea who the Caps are looking at?
You know, I think they should go for Samuel Poulin. He's a really big, decent skating forward who can get to the net. He's got muscle. He's already very strong. He's about 190-something pounds. He's another guy that could still get stronger. He could maybe be like the future Tom Wilson, but they don't have a lot of guys that get to the net. They just don't. That's why guys like Burakovsky probably have disappointed him because he doesn't play that game. Ovechkin and Wilson are the only guys, so they need another guy who can do that.
And let me piggyback on that. Burakovsky. Sorry. The rumors are hot and heavy about him going to Edmonton with Puyarvi coming back to the Caps. And the reasoning there is obviously because when I was told McDavid and Burakovsky, they're both Erie Otters, both had great chemistry playing in together, and they're looking at somebody who could potentially really that McDavid could bring out the best in.
Well, that's a similar story to Connor Brown with the Leafs and Edmonton because Brown and McDavid play together with Erie, and the Leafs probably have to move his $2.1 million salary for cap reasons. But I mean, Burakovsky's a quality player. I mean, I don't know if I would be anxious for if I was Washington to move him out. The funny thing is, the speculation has been that Puljujarvi will go to Europe if he doesn't get traded, and the price is at least a second-round pick. I would line up, if I was maybe 15 NHL teams to trade a second-round pick to roll the dice on Puljujarvi.
Yeah. I think it's going to take more than that, unfortunately, to get Puljujarvi. But okay, so before we get out of here, I want everybody to give me one possible rumor or one possible trade that you think is going to happen today. So think of that in your head for a second. As you know, one that could happen possibly today. And I have somebody in the chat room who gave me a good one. So here we go. I'm going to go over the chat room one. And this you're going to have to follow this. So everybody has a piece of paper. But Jason Rohrbach, one of our regulars in the chat room, threw this out there. Okay. I got a trade for Mike. Here it is. Okay. To Philly, Pesci. This is a three between Carolina and Toronto and Philadelphia. So Pesh, is it Pesh? How do you say it? Pesh? I don't know. It's not like
Pesci.
It's Pesci.
It's Joe Pesci. All right, cool. I always think Joe Pesci. That can't be right.
No.
All right, so Pesci, pick 34 and Kapanen to Toronto. Hag, Carolina's 28th pick. Carolina, JVR, Dr. Spear, Connor Brown, and everyone wins.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not even Jason. I'm not even going to just grace that with a response.
Yeah, and I just thought it was fun. But as far as actual trades go, I do think that you're going to see Gostisbehere and Montreal Canadiens by the end of the day. That's don't know what's coming back.
I got to see the return there.
Yeah, if I can pick, that's what I
Russ
think.
brought up Paling. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
Okay.
That's the minimum. You're talking about a defenseman under control for 4 more years
exactly.
at a little over $4 million.
Yeah, it starts with Paling. You have to have more. You have to have something else that's going to be on your NHL roster, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll
you throw Shaw or somebody like that into the mix with Paling and a pick.
Maybe Hartman goes back or something like that.
Yeah, I think they would move Hartman.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll stick with the Toronto centric rumor. I believe Zaitsev will be traded. I'll go Zaitsev to Vancouver because Vancouver will probably want to do a reverse Lou Lamoriello, and like how Lamoriello traded Corey Schneider in New Jersey. I think they'll make a deal. I'll say Chris Tanev for Nikita Zaitsev.
There you go. Russ, got anyone?
I'll go Artem Anisimov back to Columbus for Sonny Milano and a draft pick.
There you go. There you go. What do you anything about Lou? I guess like signing Ho-Sang yesterday, right? Kind of surprising on the island. Some people thought that was surprising.
What did he do? I couldn't. Sorry.
Ho-Sang, right? The Islander. What I understand is either like they offered him. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm sorry, I'm missing something. Anyway, I thought Ho-Sang signed with the Islanders again. Yeah, like he's
okay.
Right. Some people were wondering if they were going to move on, but apparently they're committed to him for some reason. So
yeah,
I like him. He's a good. I mean,
I think they should be committed to him, but we'll see.
He's got good talent. He's obviously up and down.
Yeah,
he should be committed. All right, all right. We're gonna get going. We're gonna get out of here. I want to thank you guys, all three of you, so much because I know there's so much to do out there, and you're so crazy. You're in a wonderful city, so enjoy. Thank you so much for the day. We're gonna be going all day long on Hockey Buzz. So let's tell everybody where you can be followed on Twitter. Anthony, where can people follow you?
Pretty much my name at Anthony Mingioni, ANTHONY, MINGIONI.
USE. And Mike's of course at Mike in Buffalo. Russ is at Sportsology. If you follow me at Eklund, you can follow the chat retweeted with all these names in it. But definitely do follow all these guys because they're all going to be there, and they're all must follows for sure. Along with Bill Melson's out there as well for us in and Carol Schramm. Carol Schramm's there too. I wonder if Carol is going to be there or not.
She is here. Yeah, I spoke to her yesterday.
Cool, excellent. And Pete Tessier is out there too. But obviously, he's got something more important to do this morning.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Remember, without the buzz, it's just hockey. We'll talk to you then.